everyone, welcome to the second video in our World of Flowers new series. I'm going to be working through all the pots and things on separate videos, so we're going to start with this one here today. So I am going to zoom right in and get started. Now I have decided on the colour of the pots and I was going to say and the flowers, but I haven't actually decided on the colours of the flowers. I decided on the colours of the pots. I've decided that the sun's come out. Hang on a moment. Excuse me. Just to close the blind. It's going to make everything go very, very dark for a moment, and then the camera and the light should adjust. Yes. So I'm going to do the pots blue. And all of the pots to match, not necessarily all exactly the same shades of blue, but I'm going to do blues. I thought we would have coherence across the page with all the pots in blue. I would normally like to do pots in a sort of terracotta-y colour, but we're going to have a brick wall behind, so we can't do that. I'm going to start with this blue. This is Idanthrene blue. From the Polychromos. We're using Polychromos across all this page, and let's go. Now we've got a little design on this pot, so I'm going to do different blues for the different bits. So I'm going to start with this top part. Now I want to make the pot look round because pots aren't flat, they are rounded. So the best way to do that is to make it a lot darker on the edge than the middle. So I've been layering up, as you can see, lots of layers here, and then I will do less as we go towards the middle part of the pot. That's quite a fine layer, and then I'll go back to here and do lots here at this end. Now I always colour as if the light is straight forward, so it makes it a lot easier for me to do. So I'm going to darken a little more here. So I find it makes it easier for me to colour if I'm trying to assume that the light is shining in the centre of everything. So that is how I have coloured that. Now I'm going to do, leave that bit, do this sort of stripy bits in this colour. I'm going to use the same technique because the whole pot I'm hoping is going to end up looking a little bit more rounded than it is at the minute. Obviously Johanna can't really draw 3D when she's trying to leave spaces for us to colour, so we have to try and do it with our colours. But I find it's quite fun to think about anyway and to do it. Okay, now we've got this zigzaggy bit. Now again want it lighter here, so we have to think about that. It's going to be a little trickier. So this end bit obviously still quite dark, it's the edge of the pot, so that's quite a lot of layers. And then this one will be less, and then this will be the least. A bit more for this one, a bit more for this one, mostly there, fading a little to there. Okay, I'm going to keep that pencil on hand because I might want to touch up in a minute. And then I want a lighter colour for the other parts of the pot. What should we pick? We'll pick this one, I think. This is, yes, I thought it was, this is the Ultramarine. And we'll use the same technique. So more layers here and less as we go through. Gosh, it's sunny today. I didn't expect it to be so sunny. I think you never do in the UK. It's been very strange. We've had the newspapers, one minute they're saying there's going to be a heat wave, it's going to be really hot. The next minute it's all rain and thunderstorms. You just don't know what to expect. So and where we live there's a bit of a microclimate, so we sort of have our own weather systems, so I just don't know. But us Brits do like talking about the weather. I think because it's so interesting. I'm just doing a light layer across all of this, and then I'm going to figure out the where it needs to be darker. So it needs to be darker here. And I can fade it through to the middle. Now you could put shadowing under each of these layers as if the pot's sort of got bits stuck on it, but I'm thinking it's painted on, so I'm not going to do it like that. Okay, now I want a little bit more shadow in some areas of my pot. I'm just looking to see what to do that with. Yes, the dark indigo is quite a good colour for that. Sorry, that was a bit blurred, wasn't it? And I'm thinking under this rim, often a pot has a sort of rim which is sticking out, and that's what I'm thinking this is. I try to layer it up a bit more on the edge because we still want to continue that illusion that it's lighter in the centre. I didn't do a very good job of that. I'm also going to just add a bit to the edges of the pot, even down here, not quite so hard a layer, but just a little bit to darken it. If you think about how the pot would be, the edge would be barely visible, it would be sort of turned to the side and it would be a lot darker. It can be useful to look at pots and things and how they look to help you when you're doing shading. It's tricky when the pot is sort of reflective or not reflective. Depends on what you're trying to copy. So think about, I'm going to go back in with my Idanthrene blue and just tidy up a little bit. Try and even it up a bit. Down here there's some bits where I've missed, you know, just tidy. Yeah, but looking at things is really, really useful. Just observing. I've become far better at observing everything since colouring. That could probably go a bit darker. I'm going to do the same, whoops, with my ultramarine as well, and just tidy it up. There's plenty of room on Johanna's lovely paper for lots of layers, so you can keep going back in and just tweaking and tidying and darkening, saturating, I suppose, as you will, as you wish, until you're happy with how it looks. I think I'm going to leave that there. Now we have our leaves. Now we have lots of greens to choose from, and I'll probably end up using lots of different ones, to be honest. I thought if I kept all the pots blue, then all the leaves green, we can have different shades of blue and green, and it won't look too messy. That's my hope anyway. So these leaves, I think I'm just going to grab one of my favourites. Oops. Oh, I just knocked one, hang on. This is the permanent green. It's actually the permanent green olive that's my favourite, but this one works well with my next choice of colour. So what I'm going to do is put some green at the bottom, but not so much at the top. We're going to do a second colour at the top on the sort of tips of the leaves. Now I have to be careful here, making sure that I'm not colouring in the gaps. See, that I think is the leaf, is what is there. Okay. But I'm just being a little wary of the fact that, you know, we've got a background going in here, and I don't know if it's going to want some green pencil, even if it's erased, because pastel isn't so intense as pencil with the pastel planned for the background, although I have a few ideas for that. But it'll be a while until I get around to doing that, so I may change my mind. I'm not going to share them now. Now I'm aware we've got a little snail here. I'm going to leave him until we get a day when we've got a page, an item that won't take long to do, and we can add him on then. I thought that would be a worthwhile plan. Okay, so that's those. I think they look quite pretty as they are, but I'm going to add the lightest green, which is the light green, to the tips to just finish it off really. Gosh, the sun's really bright. I can see it coming down under my blind. Now this page I have seen done, I think it's Moon Gem, is it on Instagram, and it is absolutely amazing, stunningly beautiful. And it actually made me feel a little bit daunted about doing it in this way because it's the way she did it, but I was just determined to have a go. So back to the permanent green for these bottom of the flowers. I'm going to put a little bit on each edge. We want to try and make this look a little bit rounded. And yeah, so hers, so I'm not going to go back and look at hers again until I finish this. I don't want to feel daunted. I want to be inspired, not daunted, so I'm going to leave it. This is back to the light green for the centres of these. So yeah, I'm not going to, as I say, get myself feeling like it's difficult, isn't it? When we see amazing artworks, you can feel inspired, but you can also feel really daunted. So it's making sure that you don't let it get to you, that you just enjoy. Right, pink flowers. Yes, pink. I know, I'm not a pinky person. Now we're not going for reddy pinks because they might blend into the wall, so we're going to go for purpley pinks or Barbie pinks, as I call them. I'm going to use a Barbie pink type shade first. You see what I mean. Purple pink, it's called, light purple pink, sorry. And we're going to use that for just the bottom. We've got an even lighter shade for the top. I'm getting a bit better at using pink. I'm actually finding I'm enjoying it a little bit more. I don't know why I didn't, pinks are okay. It's actually purples that I find quite difficult. We're going to use the lighter shade. Oops, there's a slightly lighter shade called, yeah, Light Madder Lake, believe me. And I think that's the slightly lighter one, yeah. And we're just going to do the tips. I'm going to try not to put too much colour down. I want them quite light. I don't want white though. If we have any white paper, our pastel is going to go in there. So if we want white, we're going to have to use a white pen. Now what I find fascinating, white pens, is that polychromos never bleed into the white pen. So you can always confidently use a white pen. That isn't dark enough in the bottom. I'm just going to get a different colour to darken it up. You can use a white pen on it anywhere and it doesn't, you know it's not going to bleed, which doesn't happen with, this is Fuchsia. I'm just going to do the really the bases. The Ergosoft don't either, but most other brands do. The Castles, the Artezas, the Prismas, sorry, they all sometimes the pigment bleeds into the white. There we go. Right, that is our very first pot finished. Now you could add some white dots and things. I'm not going to. I'm going to leave it as it is. So tomorrow we'll be doing this. What is that? A succulent, I'm guessing, of some sort. So I'll have a think about that and we'll have a go at that one. But for today, that's me. So thank you so much for watching. I do hope you enjoyed the video and happy colouring.